tomorrow night, and that's at the Keep.
Yeah, so I'm already learning a little bit of the lingo. So if you go to a wine tasting and they have a selection of anywhere from 3 to up to 8 wines out for you to try, that's called a flight.
It's a flight?
A flight.
A flight of wine.
A flight. A flight. All right,
Not
now,
to be confused with a gaggle, a herd, or a pack. Okay?
All right. All right.
Well, we could call it that, too.
A gaggle.
When you go to a wine tasting, is there a theme behind the flight of wines?
Well, you know, I was... Funny you asked that, because I was thinking about that this morning, and
really,
I was.
Were you
actually,
really sitting around pondering this?
I was pondering that, and I would say the common theme with these particular wineries are the sustainable farming practices that they use.
Okay. But you're not saying you wouldn't go all whites or all reds or all.
No, we've got a couple of great whites and 3 great reds, a wide variety.
A great white.
So
this
we've got the
flight
Jaws
of wines.
one.
So this flight of wines for you to enjoy. Now listen, if you're going to go to this, and of course we hope everybody will, we got to give you a little education.
That's right.
So that you don't commit any social gaffes at the wine tasting, because it would
Have
reflect badly on us.
Have you looked at this?
I did.
All right. Now Mike has the 5 S's that you people, you heathens out there need to remember.
That's right.
When you're going to the wine tasting. Now, Mike, we're going to bring up the 5 S's, and you tell us how to do this correctly. The first S is the swirl.
The swirl. You know, you haven't you been in a restaurant and you see some person that really thinks they know way too much.
Yeah.
Swirling that glass.
I've seen that guy.
Swirling the wine in their glass like
I've seen that.
They're
holding
a fancy,
it by the stem
guy.
so that the heat of their hand doesn't somehow trample on the whole thing.
But it really is important, you know. And what I do, because I'm not good at swirling it in my hand, to be quite honest. So I leave the glass on the table and just move my hand in a circular motion. It aerates the wine.
Okay.
It opens it up. So it's bringing out all those nuances that we want to experience in the wine. You know,
so for us, it's kind of like the blended margarita.
Exactly.
You aerate it.
It's
with
like
the ice.
shaking a soda.
Right. Truly. All right. So then you swirl it and then you smell it.
And you actually, you know, really with some wines, you know, the aroma is so nice, and you get that fruit that will just fill the room. You know, when you're swirling it, it really brings it out. It's amazing. And then, you know, the next thing you're going to do is the second of the 5 S's is smelling the wine. And it's really not rude to stick your nose into the glass.
It's not rude?
It's not rude. You don't.
Because it seems kind of rude.
You can do this at a restaurant. You don't have to do this just in the privacy of your own home.
Only in your glass, though. Right?
Don't put your nose in anyone else's, right?
Only in your glass.
You know what? If you really like it, I think you should grab the person's glass next to you and stick your nose in their glass.
Now, when you say you smell it, I mean, do you inhale deeply, or do you do like when you take stuff from the back Tupperware in the back of the fridge and you give it a kind of a cautious smell?
No. I think you give it a wholehearted smell. I think you just go. I think it's a snort, actually.
Really?
I really do.
Is that the third S?
I just think it's a.
Just crank on it.
Yeah. All right. So
you swirl it.
You smell it.
Yeah.
The third S is sight.
Sight.
So do you hold it up to the light and look at it?
That's what I like to do. I like to take my glass. I like to hold it up to the light, and I'm looking at it. I want to look at the color. I want to look at the viscosity, the oily film on top of the wine.
There's an oily film?
Yeah, and I want to see what that looks like. I can tell.
Sometimes you can see a
by
rainbow.
sight whether. I haven't seen a rainbow, but
I guess that's
might
an
if
oil
I
slick.
drink too much at the tasting tomorrow night.
Okay, so you get there and look at it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the color, and I can look at, I can almost sense the body or the weight of the wine by looking at it.
All right, so you swirl it, you smell it, you sight it, and now this one's the most important
the last two I got a problem with, because at that point, my S at this point would be slam.
Slam.
Yeah, you just slam.
Well, the swill is the next thing, and this is serious. When you go to a wine tasting, you don't gulp down the wine. It's not like a shooter. It's actually a glass of wine. All right.
Okay.
No,
so you take a nice healthy sip, but you don't gulp it.
I take like a half a sip actually.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: when you're swilling, you're actually puckering your lips and then gently breathing in. So that you're almost, it's almost like a half of a gargle, so to speak.
Again, could be considered rude in many locations.
But, you know, we're talking about wine, and we're talking about the Wine Guy Mike show. And what's the rule? No rules.
That's right.
rules.
But what we don't want is we don't want anybody to go up there and just line them up and knock them all down like they're shots of tequila.
No, you know, really, honestly,
that's really bad form.
For me, like a tasting, we've got 5 great wines tomorrow night, and I prefer to have less in my glass than more. I hate to go to a tasting and they're pouring too much, actually, and I can't really taste the wines and find out what they're all about, because that's why I'm there. You know, yes, it's a social event. Yes, it's a great time, great company, and great food appetizers that we're going to have. But you really want to understand and experience these wines and learn about them and see if there's something that you love and you want to go purchase on a Grizzly Liquor.
And then our final step is what you do with this wine in your mouth after you have tasted it. And you have basically 2 options, that you can down it or you can spit it out.
Yeah, if it's a formal wine tasting or you're in a tasting room of a winery, you're going to have a spit bucket. And
that is attractive.
And, you know, I mean, one of my favorite movie scenes was Sideways, when, you know, he gets crazy and he goes in the tasting room, picks up the spit bucket, and just chug a lug.
Wow.
But this is interesting because...
Which is also socially wrong.
So some people will go ahead and... But does it affect your palate if you go ahead and swallow it down versus if you spit it out? I mean, does it affect the next wine that you're going to taste?
No, because you should have like a little piece of bread or something.
Okay, that was my other question.
To cleanse the palate, or take a little sip of water so that you can move on to the next wine. So you can really...
Now, you're going to be there tomorrow night to help people along with the 5 S's.
I'm going to be there swilling with everybody.
Swilling.
He'll be the guy in the corner swilling.
Okay.
I'll be helping with the 5 S's.
The other reason why it's nice that they don't give you a whole full glass of it, you can be pretty hammered by the time you have 8 glasses at the wine tasting, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's another reason why you keep the taste kind of as a taste. Then you decide which one you prefer and you enjoy a nice glass of it at the culmination, right?
Yeah, and at our tastings, you know, we're... Aspen is very generous with the wine and the appetizers that she presents at these tastings. And, you know, if there's one that you love, you can go back and have a second glass of it. I mean, that's no problem. But I really would want people to try to really experience these wines and taste them and find out what they're all about, so they can understand, you know, what are the different aromas? What does it taste like on your palate? What does it feel like in your mouth? Really experience these wines.
When you move from different wines, as you work your way through the flight during a tasting, do you use a new glass each time?
You know, it depends how many glasses the keep has for us to use.
Well, I was just curious from the standpoint of if you're a purist.
If you're a purist and it's a real formal tasting, absolutely.
They would bring you a new glass each time.
And they'll have water there to rinse your glass, so you can do that too. And
well, go and check it out. Like I say, these sound like fun. Now, what time to start?
It's from 6 to 9. They usually go a little over that, and we've got you know, a white wine from the Willamette Valley.
Who's doing the appetizers?
The Keep is.
Are they going to have those special shrimp that we love?
I don't know, but I'll report back.
I will tell you, for years, we would have our corporate Christmas party up there, and I'm not even kidding you, I've been tempted to bring a pocketbook lined with tinfoil and make off with the shrimp.
You aren't the only one.
They're so good.
Well, I'll bring a doggy bag.
They're delicious.
So 6 o'clock tomorrow night at the Keep.
Be there or be square.
All right. And Mike will be there to help you through all this, too. All right. Mike, good to see you, man.
Yeah, and we just have to announce, too, this week's winners, Janelle McCormick and Maureen Johnson. We'll get you set up with your prizes. One gets a gift card to Grizzly Liquor and the other to Lolo Creek Steakhouse.
All right. Wine Guy Mike every Wednesday morning, just a little while after 8 o'clock, brought to you by Lolo Creek Steakhouse and Grizzly Liquor.
Hi.